everyone, welcome back. It's Annette Green. I should say welcome back if you are returning and welcome if you're new. This is my vintage black planner, full-size planner with Elizabeth Craft Designs. And I am doing a weekly series of 2023, 1 week per page in my planner here, and I hope to get the whole thing in here, but it's not looking very likely. So as you can see, I am moving through my weeks here of 2023, just documenting a few things. You can always go back and watch any of these if you like. I have a complete playlist on my channel of week by week, it's called, for 2023. So you can check out anything you see here if you'd like to go back. If you joined me last week, I was home in Florida. I had 2 classes that I taught in Merritt Island, Florida, and my parents also live in that area. So I visited my parents, stayed with them, and saw my mom for Mother's Day. So this was my page that I did with Mom. She was actually in the video. If you missed it, you can go back and watch. She sat next to me, she made little comments, she oohed and awed and had a great time. So this was my page, and if you watched last week, I had photos in here. I put a little dot of glue on the back, and I had photos in here from my parents' printer, but I had said that I was gonna, when I got home, I was gonna print better photos on my home printer and then replace them. So I have pulled these up, and just so you can kind of compare, this one in particular, you can really see the difference. This was the photo from my parents' printer here. It seems very yellow, kind of not very sharp. Even after adjusting certain things in Photoshop, it just wasn't doing. So I just popped those in there. And because this little triangle area was bothering Mom, I put a few more hearts in there. And I did add some journaling here and just a little something up there. So if you'd like to go back and watch that one, that was kind of cute with Mom. And I still have people ask me a lot, what kind of printer do I use? It's a basic home printer. It's kind of an all-in-one. It does scan and stuff. Canon Pixma TR8620. It's a little bit older now, but it's a great printer. And I just use HP glossy photo paper, nothing advanced or special or anything. Just good quality paper. Okay, so we are on week 20, and this is my page. It's just, I have all my pages already pre-cut, so whatever it is, it is. So this is what we're going to work on today. Okay, so the highlight of the week, I got home from Florida midweek, and it's been really, really busy and hectic. So we didn't do a whole lot during the front half of the week, but then Friday, my husband and I went downtown here in Greenville to St. George's Greek Orthodox Church. They had their annual Greek festival, which, I mean, we've lived here 3 years now, and we've never gone to it. And we said this year we're definitely going to go because it looks crowded and happening, and we wanted to go check it out. So we did. So I took several photos and have them all kind of prepped and ready over here. We'll talk about that. But one thing I want to do with my page this time, and I never do this, and I'm thinking, why not? I want to put a little fun border because it is a Greek festival, and I thought, well, wouldn't it be nice to put a little border all the way around the page? So this is an old stamp set, CS135 My Life, and believe it or not, it's still available. All kinds of great things in here, but you see all these little bordery kind of things. I'm going to use this one here. It looks kind of fun, and I'm going to go all around the page with it. So you can see what I do when I try to decide what color I'm going to use something. I just grab like a scrap of off-white, white, whatever's laying close by. And these are my VersaFine Clair ink pads. And I have 3 shades of blue. And yeah, I have little, things here on the side that I put on there so I could get a quick glimpse of the color. But sometimes I just need to see it again and make a decision from there. And I can tell right away, because some of my photo mats are going to be this color blue, that this is going to be my choice over here. So that's this one. We're going to go with that. It's Twilight. Okay, and this is one of those deals where you really only got one shot, because I'm going to stamp it right onto the page. So if it doesn't go well, I just have to be okay with it. So I'm just going to start down here at the bottom, very, very close to the edge. And I do have this down in front of me so I can see it really well. So if you can't see it, just hang in there. I will show you close up. I'm going to grab a Post-it note over here because I know that I'm going to go off the edge and I don't really want it to run off the edge, so I'm going to give it a little bit of a space here and just continue that on, and the Post-it note will make it look like it's stopped, just like over here. Okay, so give you a close look at that. I mean, you know, it's not super duper absolutely perfect, but I'm happy with it. So I'm going to go all the way around all 4 sides. Okay. You do have to kind of hold your breath because, you know, you just don't know what's going to happen, but I'm pretty happy with that. And normally I put hole reinforcements on my right-hand pages. I'm going to save that, I think, for this side this time, just because I don't want to interrupt my nice little border here. So just be careful of this because I got it all over the place. I'm going to put that way over there so I don't touch it. I already have a little on my fingers here. And so at the Greek festival, they had, of course, yummy Greek foods. I had a gyro. Paul had something, I can't remember, like a chicken something or other on a stick. And then, of course, we had to have some baklava. So I took a picture of the baklava. I just made it small because I'm having an idea here with some small images. I also took a picture of a QR code, which I really like to do. I did it on a different page before, and I'll talk about that in a second. But I took a picture of this on the wall at the church because they were giving church tours. And I just thought it would be kind of cool. Yes, we went on the tour, but maybe somebody who's looking through the book later might want to see, oh, what did they see? You can take the tour too. It's just like Google Maps. You can do like a scooch kind of thing with your finger on the arrow and move all around the church and even rotate up and look at the ceiling with the dome. It was really kind of cool to have those QR codes for the viewer of your page. They can get a little more interactive. So remember that when you're looking at those QR codes. Now, you saw me put a T on the back of there, and I also have top on the back of here, my little photo mat, because a QR code only works in such a way, and I had to test it and keep scanning it until it came up with my phone properly. And I don't know if all QR codes are like this. I'll have to look back in my book, but see these 3 squares? In this case, they are in the bottom left, and top right. Let me grab my other page and let's see if they did it the same way. Let's see, when did I do that last one? Was it? Nope. You'll probably see it before me and you're probably yelling, there it is, you missed it. Oh, no, there it is right there. Okay, this is when we went to the comedy show, and this was all about this guy, because this was on his business card. So you can read all about him. It takes you right to the web. So I have done that before, and yes, so bottom left, top right. I guess that's how they all are. Just keep an eye out and see if that's true, but I think so. So anyway, back to my page. Alrighty, so I don't normally try to match the page prior to what I'm going to do over here. But in this case, I decided, since some of these photos, like of the church, there was a golden yellow, the baklava, of course, and oh, this was a picture of, in the church, of this wonderful detailed wooden inlay in the altar, and there were so many of them, but I took a picture of 3 and I kind of ran them across on my photo paper, and I decided, instead of just cutting each of them out, I would just cut the whole strip since I had them all lined up in Photoshop. Now, the reason why I did that is, can you see here how this one is a little skewed? The picture is not straight. This space between here is not super straight. That's why I went ahead and ran this all together on the strip, because if I had cut that out, that one would look wonky. And just to kind of keep them all looking fairly uniform, I just kept them this way, and then I'm going to mount them on my cardstock over here. I have everything kind of sized and ready today. But I am sticking with that same golden kind of yellow color, and then this darker, almost navy blue color, and I'm going to kind of alternate those colors. So I think that's gonna, it's not going on here, of course. I think that's going to balance out nicely. And I am inking edges, of course, with gathered twigs. So a little bit darker brown this time. A lot of times you'll see me using frayed burlap, but I needed something just a little bit darker this time. And you might wonder, how do you decide like which photos get which photo mats? And so that would be a great question. So in this case, I have these two photos, and they don't really need to have their own independent photo mats all the time. You know, I've done a lot of that in the past, but it doesn't always have to be that way. Just like this, right? Or just like this. These two, you know, they don't really need their own place. So there's a lot of sky background and white. So I felt like the gold held up okay. It could have worked on the blue, but I feel like it's almost too much blue. Whereas in this photo, it is also kind of washed out and bright in some areas, and I feel like the golden yellow doesn't do it enough like grounding and framing, so that's where I'm going to switch back to the darker blue. Okay, so that's how I made those decisions, really based on my photographs. So I'm just going to get everything inked. I'm not going to ink the blue because it's so dark, it doesn't need it. But basically I have inked all the gold stuff, and I'll get these photos down here. All right, so here's the plan that I'm having. I have got my week 20 over here, 20, the number. As I've been doing, the number is cut from Planner Essentials 37, the stitched letters and numbers set. Really kind of cute because they have that little stitching, and so I use that same blue. So I think that's going to go up in that right top corner. And these line right up, and that's on purpose, same size. This one is going to be a little bit wider, and I think just for kicks I'm going to go off the edge because I've got the holes over here I don't want to run into, and I think I'm just going to butt it right up to the outside there. And then I've got my QR code. Remember, I wrote top back here so I could keep it straight. I think that's going to go up here because there's not a lot happening up here in the church in the photo, so I think because I'm going off the edge here, I'll go off the edge here. I think we'll see. And then baklava, again, another area that isn't super important, doesn't really tell the story to look up in there and see that white area, so I think I'll put the baklava up there because that's what Paul's eating right there. This may come down a little more because I got to get my 20 up there. So I'm just making a plan, and I also have to have room for a little journaling, so I may be coming down quite a bit more here because I do have a stamp I've got on hold up there for that space. Okay, so 20, see the sky kind of playing up here. 20 is going to go up there. I don't think it bothers me that it kind of touches the top of the dome there on the church. Such a pretty church. Okay, so my plan was I was going to use this round stamp that says notes. Now this is, again, another old one. CS 131 circle labels, and I looked it up. I'm sorry, they don't have it anymore. Maybe it's something you've had for a while, and if so, great, let's use it, you know. But it just is a circle that has a little stitch and it says notes, and I thought that I would put that up in here because I have so many like squares and rectangles going on. I want to kind of soften it up. So actually, I may put it down here. And then I've got the smaller one that says photo of the day from the same set. That's the one I wanted to use up here of Paul eating baklava. Okay, I believe I will use that same blue. We'll see how it looks. And just get those right on there. Looks good. Notes. Looks good. Okay, and then I grab some circle punches. Of course there's dies. Yes, you can use dies for sure, but the circle punches are right here within my reach instead of me digging for a die. So I'm just going to use these. That stamp is about 1 inch from end to end, so I have a 1 1/8 circle punch. I think I have every size circle punch. And then this measured 1 1/4, and this is a 1 3/8 circle punch. Okay, so there's that. And of course we will ink the edges. Okay, and just before I was getting ready to stick this down, I made the executive decision to just go ahead and bluntly cut off this instead of have it be within the photo mat. Something about that was bothering me with the photo mat touching the edge. I'd rather it go off the edge, so I did the same thing over here with my QR code, just so everything looks about the same. So just getting these down and working from the bottom up to make sure I leave myself plenty of room for that stuff at the top. So these can be, you know, fairly close together, and I have just decided to, I think I'll jog this over a little rather than line it up perfectly here. And then these two maybe will line up. I don't know. See how it looks. That was the original plan, but you know, you gotta stay flexible. So do I want to come over here? No, it looks weird. So I'm gonna keep it lined up nice and close. Looks good. Baklava. Oh, so the baklava has to be trimmed as well because it's going off the edge over here. So I'll just snip it and re-ink that spot, and that's gonna come. Oh, let's overlap on Paul here. That's what I think we were going to do. And I'm trying out this Barely Art Precision Craft Glue, just because everybody seems to be using it right now, and I was curious what's the hoopla all about. And I like it. Folks say it has a little bit longer drying time than art glitter glue, and I really do struggle with art glitter glue drying very quickly. So that's what made me want to take the test and try it out. Okay, and once again, I'm making sure that's the top. I put this thing on here right, so just in case I forgot. And I was coming down here with this, right? A little bit lower, close to the hole. Okay, so you know, it's gonna stair step your eye downward as you go. And then photo of the day was Paul. Yeah, that's gonna fit good. 20, 20, 20, 20, and then photo of the day. And then, gosh, this is so big, it's gonna cover up some of this pretty stuff. What do we do, kids? Maybe we eliminate that and we just put this up here. Let's see. What do we think? What do we think? Do we care? We're going to cover up his hat. I think it's going to go there. Well, maybe we'll cover up a little of the border. Yeah, I think that's good. Okay, well, photo of the day is out because this isn't really the photo of the day. So I think we're just going to skip it. You guys okay with that? I hope so. There's some big changes coming down the pike. I can't really say just yet. Personal things, nothing major, but something that I will be talking about maybe in a week or two when everything is confirmed, because it has to do with me having to downsize once again. And that means I've got to de-stash a little more craft stuff, and I'm trying to find the best means to do so. I have some ideas. Okay, I'm just going to keep my 20 very plain. I don't have anything behind it this time. I haven't done anything fancy to it. I think that's good. Yeah, I think that's good. Okay, I'm just taking one last look to see, can it still work? And so watch what happens when I try to lay it in different places. Let me grab my tweezers here, just so my big hand's not in the way. So it makes sense to go there because the baklava is so beautiful and delicious, right? But I don't like that these would be lined up perfectly. And then it sort of disrupts the flow here. You see how it's just kind of flowing with those elements that are the same size? If I go in there, it just breaks that up, and then it's like, ooh, all I see is 2 circles. This doesn't make sense because this isn't the photo of the day. So again, this poor lady, I could cover her up. Again, it's not the photo of the day. That's the photo of the day. So, yep, it's not going to make it. Okay, so let's get it in my planner. And we are done for today. Simple page, once again, you know, a couple new things I haven't done with the borders, and just love using those QR codes, and just a few tips about how to, you know, break up the square and rectangle thing with just a few circles. Well, now just 1 circle, but still just that 1 circle, and then we've got this here sort of breaks up the whole square, square, square thing for me. So I thank you for joining me once again. I don't know what's going to happen next week. I don't have anything on the books except work, work, work. So we'll see what happens. And I hope you join me. I hope you enjoyed it. And I'll see you next week. Take care.